Hey everyone, this is David. Today I'm doing a long-awaited video on how I got the Tower of Dread and Despair records. So what exactly are the rules? There's only one. According to the Speedrun.com page, the run starts when entering the tower and ends on the victory screen after the final boss. Before you can do the run though, you usually need to grind to max grub and use this team. By the way, I don't have access to save editing, but it probably won't take that long, right? I ended up getting forced into a new Word Explorer quest, and I couldn't grind delicious snurps anymore, so I started grinding my only me that didn't have level 50 on Warrior yet. I ended up getting level 50, and then I got a new quest for delicious snurps, so I would probably be able to complete my grinding pretty quickly. I ended up with a completely maxed grub, so now I can finally get into the speedruns. So this floor is really easy, but something important to note is that it's really hard to do it in one turn. As you just saw, I got triple end hand on Feline Frenzy, which is the best possible boost you can get on it, tripling your damage. This floor was slightly above average, but pretty average compared to the rest of the clear times in this run. I led with a Feline Frenzy, of course, no boosts, but still valuable damage. A triple end hand on any attack is still good. I got 2 of them, and then that one on my second Feline Frenzy, netting me a 2-turn second floor. This is the only scenario in both of these speedruns where you can one-shot something, specifically the Frog King with triple end hand, but I didn't get it here. I did 2-shot it though, and the Frog Queen went down pretty quick. This floor is also pretty easy. Not sure if it's possible in a single turn, but I still got a lot of show-off boosts here. Normally I'd use an MP candy here, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to beat the dragon in 2 turns without using a Feline Frenzy again. Immediately I get a double lend a hand from Feline Frenzy, which is pretty good. Here I use my MP candy on my second turn, and my warriors do the rest. I get another triple lend hand Feline Frenzy here, which is really good. I don't really have much else to say about this fight other than that it was an RNG fest, so I'll just let it play out. This fight was another RNG fest with not much to say, but something to note is that you should always use a shield and hyper sprinkle on one of your warriors here, since you'll only need 4 of each for the final fight. This is it. I start off here by using my 4 hyper and shield sprinkles and turning on auto battle. You'll want your menuing to be as fast as possible here so you can save some time. On this turn I got 2 triple pincers and 1 triple lend a hand, which allowed me to immediately enter the second phase. Now when I glanced at the timer when I entered the second phase, I was 10 to 20 seconds ahead and I nearly had a heart attack. The triple lend a hand finishes the stun and I take the world record. And I get sick. Like floor 1 on Dread, this one is easy, but hard to do in a single turn. I got an insane amount of damage from the triple lend hand super spin slash, so I was able to barely squeeze by in one turn. The heavy golem has a really high amount of defense, so it's hard to defeat it quickly. I usually beat it in 2 turns, but this time it took me 3. By the way, I'm using a cleric traveler for this run since it's much faster than using HP sprinkles, because it usually takes up to 5 seconds to fill up an HP bar with one. Pharaohs tend to be annoying because of their curse status effect, so it was pretty lucky to beat them that quickly. A random side note is that Cool has its perks, but its downside is that it's annoying when a Cool means pressure point quirk replaces the skill it was originally going to use. Not much else to say, so I'll let this play out. This is probably the easiest floor here, so I'm just gonna let this play out. It is possible to beat in one turn though. This floor usually takes a while to do, but fortunately I was able to beat it relatively quickly. A small note I want to make is that fast menuing is important for these runs. Stumbling around, especially on the safe spot menu, can cost you up to 20 seconds and possibly more. This is where we start to get to the more annoying floors. Unfortunately, I didn't get any super spin slashes here, but I did proc Avenge, which significantly speeds up this floor. A secondary note I want to add is that Stubborn is pretty good for these runs. There are no heals to decline, you can't decline Travelers by the way, and the one more time perk is great when it activates. Not much else to say here, so I'll just let this play out. This floor is very luck-based. For Sprinkles, use 4 of your shields immediately and top out your Mii's HP to around 250 as necessary. I got a ton of pincers and lend hands here, which helped a lot. Another small note is that laid back is my go-to personality for these types of things. My main reason for this is unusually focused, which doubles the attack or magic power of a move. Also, Slack Off still conserves MP, and Cadge can still help in niche circumstances. I'll just let the rest play out now. This is it. Again, no time to waste with menuing. Use 3 of your Hyper Sprinkles on your warriors and your last Shield Sprinkle on your MC. By the way, the MC is the Mii that you control. Pincers and leaden hands are great here. I'm not hyping the MC so I can take out the Juvenile Snurps easily with the Feline Frenzy. Juvenile Snurps take their turn right after the boss Snurp, so put any targeted Miis in the safe spot right before that. Similarly to the Dark Sun's second phase, I also nearly had a heart attack when I glanced at the timer when I entered the third phase for multiple reasons. Getting 3 Miis high from the boss nerfs random all is a 1 in 125 chance. And with that, the boss nerf has been defeated. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, of course, subscribe. I'll be posting much more content in the future. Bye!